This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Okay, we are going to jump right into the public hearing.
Okay.
If that's
Okay.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So if nobody else has anything that is unrelated to any hearings tonight, we'll jump into the public hearing. So yes, first topic of business tonight is continuing the public hearing for the NOI at 4353 Pleasant Street. And then, do we have to make a motion to open to continue? I think we have Michael, and work on the call from E-Wave. And I think we did receive comments from Mass Wildlife this week. I read through them, I assume everybody had a chance to read through them.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
We've also had a peer review contract signed, and now we're waiting to get a timeline for when that work will start.
Mr. Chairman, excuse me.
After snow melt. So we will likely be, or not likely, we will be continuing the public hearing tonight. To continue the hearing until we get that peer review back. Those are all the topics on this. Anything else?
I was curious about the report from Mass Wildlife in terms of the stipulations that they lay out for the project. Do we hear directly from the applicant if they are going to go through with that?
I have not received any comments back during the Mass Wildlife report. Mr. Chairman, I would like also let commission members and public know the peer review actually is started. Okay. They were doing the in-house review, but they're still waiting to start development grounds and install.
Okay. I know you've got a tight timeline tonight, right? So I think we can open up the floor for you just so that you can make those comments.
Thank you. I'm Ann Bowman, and my address is 202 Pomeroy Meadow Road. I'm here to speak about the proposed freestanding solar generating facility on Pleasant Street. It is my understanding that this is being proposed for farm property. Farms are struggling to stay in business, and projects such as this one provide farm owners with additional income to help them stay in business. On my car, I have a sticker that reads "No farms, no food." I've also seen stickers on other cars that read "Yes farm, yes food." Both are true and speak to our need for farms. We also need clean water, and we need to protect our source of water to keep our water clean. It is my understanding that lithium-ion batteries located over our water aquifer are part of the proposed freestanding solar generating facility. Is there a place to put lithium-ion batteries on this farmland that would not potentially impact our aquifer? Is there a way to put lithium-ion batteries on this farmland that would not potentially impact our aquifer? I hope there is a way to help our farmers and protect our aquifers. And thank you for being on the Conservation Commission.
Thank you. Very nice. Thanks. you mentioned something, and I realized I had forgotten to add one piece of, housekeeping tonight. We do need to make sure that we keep the discussion to topics within the Conservation Commission jurisdiction. So because the battery storage system, is outside of our jurisdiction, those comments really should be held and made with the planning board, some board. You can't weigh in on that, that's outside of any decision that we it's not in our jurisdiction. Did anybody else have any comments that they would like to make on this public hearing?
Mr. Chair,
Please, yeah.
Evan, your voice barely. I'm sorry. Have I been recognized?
Started with 2 months ago. That is that not all the abutters were notified. And I know there's an opinion out there that maybe it's okay, but as far as I'm concerned, the applicant needs to come up with a reason why those abutters were not notified. Almost every bit of information that was submitted as with the notice of intent says 4353. The project description, for whatever reason, says 43. At the meeting 2 months ago in January 5th, I talked to the guy at Weston and Sampson face to face, and he basically, well, he made it seem like it was the town's fault that 43 was the only address that was asked for abutters, or given for abutters. That is not the case. The reason 43 was, the abutters of 43 were notified only is because that's what Blue Wave or Weston and Sampson requested. I can't see how that could possibly be correct. An abutter is an abutter. I don't care if the Conservation Commission only cares about or deals with wetlands on 53. The project is the project, and it's 43 and 53. The abutters are the abutters for the project. So, to me, they need to come up with some reason why they did that, and to try to basically pawn it off on the town. That's what came out of the meeting 2 months ago. That just doesn't fly. That's about it. I mean, I can talk about other things, but we won't. For now.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and George, that's the buck over here. I think you had looked into this to understand why the differentiation was made between
The,
14.
that's correct. The applicant, in fact, did request a butters for only number 53. And as I looked at the project, all the wetlands jurisdiction is on lot 53. And therefore, although the project references multiple lots, the work the commission has to decide upon is on only one lot, and the abutter notifications were given for that one.
And from a precedent or legal perspective, because the wetlands are only on that one lot, that is the only lot that needs to be notified, or the abutters need to be notified, even if it spans multiple.
I took that position. If the commission believes that this was an error, I would suggest that we request a legal opinion from the town to their law counsel to ascertain if in fact I made a faulty decision.
Would the abutters for 53 be notified as the project, if it progresses, in terms of, like, once it goes in front of the planning board or the zoning board, are they then notified?
then their butter notification requirements would kick in,
Mhm.
and that'll definitely be on, both lots.
Okay.
So if, yeah, for instance, the zoning board of appeals, the planning board wants to go through their butter notification procedures, the butters of both lots will be notified.
Mhm.
So maybe the next steps for us are to involve Scott and potentially seek, the town's council to make sure that we have the correct understanding of this.
Yeah, I would recommend that if you are going to make such a, request to the town administration, that you do it during the open public hearing.
Sure. Yeah.
Basically, you just go into the 230 something pages. There's a stormwater report, and that stormwater was submitted as a notice of intent to the Conservation Commission. That's part of the submittal. The stormwater report says 43 and 50. That stormwater ends up, some of it in wetlands, even from 43, I believe. And so how can a stormwater report, which is a fairly important document as part of that notice of intent, have two addresses on it, but the project description only have one? And the request for the abutters list only be for one property. To me, it makes no sense, but maybe I'm wrong. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, no, thank you for, mentioning that. Yeah, and I think that's, I'm not an attorney by day, so I think, getting that professional, getting somebody with experience here is. That's our best. Make sure. Okay, so George, you're saying, to make a motion to ask Scott to look into this, is something that we want to do now? Yes. During this.
Make a motion.
Great.
Now we could review of the butter notification issue.
Yes, I'll make a motion for that. Okay, thank you.
I'll second that.
Thanks, Nicole. All right, so, all those in favor, Robin? Nicole?
Aye.
Brad?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, basically, since we have both now the legal, opinion outstanding and the peer review outstanding, I recommend that the commission continue the hearing to the next meeting or even to the first meeting in April.
Okay. You can skip
You can, but you need permission of the applicant, so it's probably better to just go to the next meeting.
okay. Yeah. Does the 21-day rule play into that?
The next meeting within the 21 days.
Okay. Okay. Before I do that, since folks did come out, did anybody have any other comments that they? Okay. All right, then I will make a motion to, propose that we close the public hearing to continue until the, or sorry, continue the public, okay. Continue the public hearing to March, what is the?
16th, I think.
March 16th.
16th. Thank you, Rob. All those in favor, Rob?
Yeah.
Nicole?
Aye.
Brad? And I. The next item that was on the agenda for a public hearing was the permit, the RDA for Red Brook Estates for treatment of invasive species. Wow.
Mr. Chairman, that is actually, the idea prepared by my office. When we found out we had invasive species, I did some research and, we found out that we do need a permit to apply the pesticides. Okay. We also found out after it published a legal notice that we need a notice of intent.
Okay.
So I'm recommending that on the, RDA for, Red Brook Estates, that we, issue a positive determination requiring the NLI, and that would be positives 3 and 5. And the NOI, I've gone out to, the same outfit that does the invasive treatment at Mahon and, Manningham, and they've agreed to prepare the NOI. We do have the funding for it. And, they will also then do the invasive treatment.
Okay.
But they have to have a, site visit when the ground is clear.
Right.
To see the extent of the, invasives are identified in last report. I recommend that we should close the hearing. If there's nobody who wants to speak to it, issue a positive 3 and 5.
Can I ask a quick question on that? I was just curious in terms of, so Red Brook Estates is the landowner and then we hold the CR on it. Is there anything in the CR about us as like the holders managing the property versus like them doing the invasive work?
The way the, conservation restriction was written, the commission holds the restriction or has the right to maintain the area to, in essence, keep it pristine, if you will.
Yeah.
Which would include the elimination of the invasives, should we be able to do that.
Nice.
We will be going out to the property owners.
Yeah.
And notifying them on this, because there's 2 or 3 property owners involved to actually, have the property in the CR. If they should object to it, then I'm gonna have to get a legal opinion again, since we have the ability to win and control what's there. And if they say no, then we'll contact them.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying, because that's just like usually a unique element of a restriction
Yeah,
of like the holder being able to manage. So I was just curious about that.
that's one of the things I checked right away too.
Yeah.
Is do we have the authority?
Yeah.
And we do.
Good to know.
Okay, so, and then, on the NOI, that you said that you realized that we needed an NOI after, do we have to, can we still vote on that even though it's not part of the?
No, we'll have a notice of intent for the next year. When, we get the consultant to get going on it. And again, you can't get going on it, so it's right.
Which, do you know what the invasives were?
Yes, I do, we're in the report, but I don't have it.
I think it was, I want to say it was swallowwort, but I can't remember. That was exactly.
I don't remember exactly either. They found it, I think, 3 places.
Yeah.
And I saw it, and again, I can't remember, over the bridge,
Mm-hmm.
and it crosses Red Brook, and it's all like this.
Yeah.
On both sides.
Okay. All right, I will make a motion then to issue positive on the RDA, issue positives 3 and 5. Oh. I can make, yes, I will first make a motion to close the public hearing. Thank you. Oh, okay.
Close the hearing, and issue policy 3 and 5. Yeah,
I would like to make a motion to close the public hearing issue a positive 3 and 5 for the RDA at Redbrook Estates.
I'll second that.
Thank you. 4 tries.
It's Monday, it's okay.
It's Monday. All right, thank you. All those in favor, Robin?
And maybe I'm too late on this, so we'll only be discussing what pesticides would be used at some point?
Oh, yeah.
That'll happen later,
Yes.
okay. Yes.
Nicole?
Aye.
Brad? Aye. And aye. Okay, that is it for public hearings. So then in regular business, there's a few things. One was land use for conservation areas.
Yes.
I'm assuming this is around the geocaching.
Yes, I have a request. Actually, I have two of them on the same subject. Wanting to know if geocaching is allowed in the Concom.
Yeah.
And it doesn't say it is, it doesn't say it isn't.
Right.
And frankly, I was ignorant of what it is once. So I looked it up and I gave the commission a link, and I don't think it's going to be that detrimental, but again, I don't have any experience with it whatsoever.
Mr. Chairman,
Do you have any ideas?
excuse me, Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
identify yourself.
I'm sorry. Kathy Hall, 61 Coleman, and member of the trail. My only concern is I think geocaching is not necessarily limited to trail systems.
Mhm.
Yes, that's true.
And so, because we're dealing with lands that have some fragility, I don't know, what kind of have people, I don't think it's going to be hordes of people, but to have people off trail.
Right, but even ones and twos, depending on where the cache
Yes.
is.
There's small things that usually come off a tree or a stump or something.
Yeah,
I've seen them up on like rattlesnake knob, places like that. So,
yeah, I've never geocached, is that the term?
Yeah.
Right, but so I did a little research, I'm familiar with what it is, and I looked at, I think ECR has, some rules and guidelines around it, as do other, states and conservation areas, so I don't know what the next steps are here, but I think, rules or bylaws for how we allow it make the most sense, and the rules are pretty, from what I read, I'll just not paraphrase, but they're pretty simple. It was keeping to the trail or within, relatively close, and I think there was a measurement. State, yeah. Nothing can be buried, or the earth cannot be disturbed to place the cache. Any historic, landmarks or rock walls or anything that cannot be just changed or modified to fit the cache. The wetlands are completely off limits. And I think there was maybe a couple of stipulations, but the idea was like, yes, allow it to happen, because it gets more people out, right? It gets people enjoying the property that we require, that we oversee, which is the whole point. Putting some safeguards in place to keep the land pristine the way it's supposed to be, but also make sure people are protected from the dangers of certain areas or themselves going too far off trail.
May I make a suggestion or request? If members of the commission could, just email me their thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Like you just had, and I can work with Kathy and see if we can come up with some, guidelines back to the commission. Because I think, for instance, the things you just noted are extremely important, especially no land disturbance.
Mhm.
And so, and I think we also, we want to keep them out of sensitive areas, but I don't know how we're going to define that. So if I can get some input, whatever it is, into my office, I can start drawing up some, guidelines. Bring it to the commission, and maybe we can come to a resolution. And the people who contacted me, don't expect an immediate answer. But they didn't want to go out and do it.
Yeah,
If they weren't allowed, which I thought actually was pretty good.
I appreciate.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's do that, if I may suggest. And, even with some members of the commission aren't on the commission anymore, maybe they might have some input.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. I'm curious, like, in terms of, so I'm familiar with geocaching. I've seen it on properties before. I had the same concerns of like avoiding sensitive areas or getting too far off trail. But yeah, I'm curious in terms of like, can anyone put a geocache out? Like, I just don't, I can look into that in terms of
Yeah.
how that works and like, how do people find out about them?
I was under the impression that, yes, it's kind of.
Like anyone can do it.
Anybody can do it, but, and that was one of the other rules, that it has to be in clear container.
Yeah, and, you know, we may come to the conclusion that we should know, because I don't know, the average person, quote unquote, who goes out into, you know, I'm gonna pick one, Clearwater, are they gonna know what's a sensitive area?
No, yeah. I mean, it's a fair point. I really don't, I don't like the idea of like. Yeah, we'll have to consider that, I suppose. I think we can probably, I'll go back into my search history to find what it was that I was looking at, but a copy paste might be a pretty good solution.
Yeah.
Or two, like if we ever thought that certain properties were better fit for it,
Good point. Yeah.
and just like that's part of our rules is that, we're not going to allow geocaching on these certain properties, but we will allow it on these.
Absolutely.
That could be.
I wouldn't think we'd want to allow it up by, all the pond,
Mhm.
or where Holyoke Water has their, supply areas. Probably not. Yeah. But it's something, again, I have to plead ignorance. Nobody ever asked me this before.
Yeah, I have a couple of my friends there, they do it with their kids as a way to get out, get outside the trail, go for hikes without just being on a long, boring hike. As a little kid, right? It's like something to look forward to, I guess. Yeah.
All right, well, let's leave it at that, we'll bring it back, when we get some. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's great that they reached out.
They reached out before we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just transported from the TVs.
Yes, because you're not acknowledging my request to speak. Luckily, I live here in Southampton, and I can come personally to the meeting.
Oh, apologies, we were having some technical challenges with the
And it was
TV.
very difficult to hear you speak.
Is it?
Yes.
That's good feedback.
So my speaker is way up high and I had difficulty listening to you, and hearing what was said.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
Thanks for making the effort to come in and I apologize for that.
Because I believe that you skipped over the public time for comments for first part of your meeting. It's on your agenda.
No, I didn't.
Okay, so one of the other problems is that I was not invited to the meeting until 10 after 7. I don't know when you started.
Yeah, I mean, meetings,
So you started, when I got logged into the meeting,
Yeah.
you had already started a public hearing continuation for the solar.
Correct. Yeah, we started the meeting tonight at 6:08. The link,
Well, it's only 6:40, so I think you meant 6:10, right, and not 7:10.
I'm at 6, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Daylight savings.
No, totally. And I think that, yeah, we're like had a huge
Right.
issue with the tech today, so
Right.
fully apologize. I do have my volume up, so I definitely wasn't able to hear you
Yeah.
on here.
Multiple times I asked to be heard. And I'm just here tonight because I filed the RDA for Glen West at Sheldon's Lake Tree
okay,
today. George was not in his office at the time I was here. I gave the filing to the town clerk and emailed him a copy of the RDA at 1:40 today. At 5 o'clock, George sent me an email saying he received the order or the RDA, but did not receive an electronic copy and said that he would not consider it a complete filing. Well, I sent it to George at 1:40 this afternoon, before 5 o'clock. So I think you need to recheck your email because I used your email address that's listed on the town's website.
Which was wrong.
Well, then the town needs to correct their mistakes.
Well, it depends on which part of the website you use.
I went right to your web page
Oh, that one's right.
and I clicked on it and I sent the email to you.
Okay, and I'll double check it, I didn't see it.
So
okay.
I'll resend it again tomorrow, again if you want, but it's a complete application in my opinion.
Okay, all right.
And,
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for bringing that up and again.
yeah, well, luckily I live here in Southampton,
Right.
and could get here to see, because I know there was another gentleman on the Zoom, call that asked to be heard, and he didn't get.
Really? That we can't hear?
Yeah, didn't get a response.
Okay.
So, he was on earlier, but he since logged off, so.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, so.
I'll be here for the next one in person, but, because I'm not gonna go through this again.
Yeah, no.
But I know it's difficult dealing with a hybrid meeting, because I've been through many of them. So it is difficult, but.
Yeah, so again, if you had submitted the RDA, then this is he's well within the window for the next public hearing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've already started preparing it. We can go soon as well.
Right, so you should have it in your email, George.
Can you
Let me know.
Yes, I will.
what is, just while we're here in person, what email should we use it? Or,
G. Russell at Southampton.
That's what I used.
okay,
So
I'll look.
I'll send it again tomorrow morning when I get to work, and I'll copy you, Scott, on it too.
I would recommend against copying any member of the commission. And
I don't have everyone's email address, I just have yours
yeah,
and Scott's.
Don't, I recommend against that because they'll have to recuse themselves from the hearing.
Yeah, no, I'm just sending it to,
I'm not Scott.
oh, I thought you were Scott, I'm sorry.
You know,
Oh, Evan, sorry.
No, all good.
Okay, because Scott was on, well, he's on, but.
Oh, no, that's me right now. It's confusing. I'm so sorry.
When we log it from the standard meeting invite as the host, it takes his name.
Okay, all right, yeah, all right, sorry.
No, but yeah, if you need,
I sent it to George.
yeah, just to be, better safe than sorry, yeah, if you can send it again to G. Russell.
Yeah, I will do that.
That way.
Yeah.
It's not lost.
Right. So Scott's just, not there, just name and only, he's not.
He is not here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you, good night.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Okay, so we talked about the geocaching. The next thing under regular business was the bylaw amendments.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, I have submitted a number of requests for bylaw amendment, and I would, I'm trying to clear up some issues. for instance, the requirement for the conservation zone is now, it's a requirement, you have to do it, you don't have an option. We've got, two public hearings at the next meeting already, one on IDA, one on notice of intent, which is going to require you to issue, require the applicant to conservation zones. I think that should be discretionary, but right now it's not. Secondly, when we got the DEP, review back on the solar farm, they issued a very strong opinion that commission should not be voting on ANRADs or notices of intent that show wetlands boundaries because you can't verify them in the field. A lot of communities, in fact, do not issue orders of conditions or approve ANRADs between the months of October 1st, April 1st. It's simply because you can't. In fact, you're going to get a notice of intent for Cold Spring Road at the next meeting. I looked at the site quickly, I gotta go back out. You can't verify the wetlands delineations. It's impossible. And I had discussions with the chair of the Board of Selectmen, or Select Board. She feels that we shouldn't be doing a lot of amendments to local bylaws, especially since we had one at the last special town meeting, where we changed quorum requirements, for instance. When I did tell her the DEP is strongly recommending that we do not do reviews of delineations where you can't see the ground, she said, okay, maybe we should do that. I have written that in bold on the handout that I gave you, that basically says, for instance, if the solar farm wanted to come in now, and we had this requirement, you could accept the application, but they would know that the commission's not going to do anything until we see the ground. And in this case, it's going to work out okay within peer review. But there's one on Cold Spring Drive. It's a single family house. And I don't think at this point peer review is required, but it's a huge structure, 7,000 square feet. And I will have a recommendation at the next meeting, but I don't think I can go up there and see the delineations. So I'm recommending the commission adopt the bylaw amendment as written in my report that basically says we won't do delineation reviews, either part of an NOI or ANRAD or even an IDA if we can't see the ground. It also gives you the option in the way I've written it that if you get an application coming in and it came in before we got the first blizzard, you could do it as long as you can see the ground.
Okay. Can you share me the do we have to wait for a special town meeting to make a change to the bylaw?
If the commission decides that they want to go forward with these, they vote to go forward, and I send it to the town administrator. When it gets in front of the town meeting, we have no control. The only thing I can guarantee is if we don't do it, it won't get in front of the town meeting.
Right. But so we would have to be able to say that this is how this, you know, for the NOI that's coming up, right? Yeah, they can't. Nothing is going to change before that. Right. Okay. So in real reality, this is for next year. Yeah. Okay.
And the other thing that we can't control is, I've been doing this a long time, and I've seen wetlands delineated so many different ways. Some use flags, that's the most common way. Others use stakes. I've seen them actually go out there and put metal poles in the ground. But you still can't see what's under that stuff.
Right.
And then I have to know any applications are based on soil types and vegetation. That's required.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me, right?
And again, all the commission's doing at this point is making a request, a recommendation.
Right.
You're not, it's not gonna become full law until the public says so.
Mhm.
And then reviewed by the AG.
Right.
The last, amendments, they're supposed to do it 90 days, about, 200. But there's no appeal to that.
When is the next? It's May, it's early May usually, right?
I think, yeah, that's the regular town meeting.
Yeah, did everybody have a chance to read through George's recommendations?
Mhm. Yeah, I didn't have any concerns about it. And I think that specifically the amendment you're talking about right now around the delineations and the time of year, I think it makes sense. Like, even though it calls out that April or October to April, but you still say like, if you can still do it if you can see the ground. So I think having that in there, because I was like a little nervous about it being pigeonholed to like, you just can't this time of
Yeah.
year. But with that kind of included, I think that's totally fine.
Yeah, and in your, in the text, you had October 1. Yeah, should it be October 1 or what?
I've got it October 1 to April 1, but you can make it November 1. But as long as it's clear that even if somebody files an application, you know, the second week of October, if you can't see the ground, you can't go forward.
But if you could see the ground, you could, based
Yes,
on your
yeah.
bylaws.
It's like before we had the first one,
Mhm.
you could actually go up there and look at the ground.
Right.
Now we have to wait a couple. So if you want to go forward, we need a motion to recommend the town adopt.
George, you've put together, that's number 5 on your bylaw change.
This is not done in any, priority order. It was just done as I put it together.
Yeah, so I guess really what I'm getting at is, if we were to make a motion, you're recommending we do all of these, not just
Yes.
the one involving the.
Right. And we could also do it so that in the recommendation, the commission feels that these should be put in place, but the most pressing, amendment is the one of the delineations. And if the town meeting decides to break it up and just do the wetlands delineation, okay, then we're still stuck with the conservation zone. In fact, that may be a better way to approach it, but. And I'll stress that this is what they recommend. In fact, I just said that the review we got in, so it wasn't only recommended, it was in bold print, capital letters.
Okay.
And you're not alone, a lot of Massachusetts municipalities have this in place.
Yeah, and it seems like a no-brainer. Right. So do you want it?
I would recommend a motion to adopt with the priority being the delineation.
I'll make a motion to adopt these recommendations with a priority.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, Robin?
Yes.
Nicole?
Aye.
Brad?
Yes.
And I. Thank you, George.
Yep.
Yeah, so The next one is treasurer.
Well, I would like to tie two things together if I may. One, we need a treasurer. Let back up. Right now, since Kathleen resigned, I have been doing the treasurer stuff. It's not a lot of legwork, so to speak. It's a lot of administrative paperwork. But we've already found a problem in that, like, for instance, it appears that we got 2 bills in last fiscal year that I know I authorized payment on, for some reason never got paid. I don't know where any quote fault lies, but it be that as it may. If the commission wants a separate treasurer, it takes some of the workload off my hands. But nevertheless, the members are donating a lot of their time and effort right now, not only attending the meetings, but sending the volumes of stuff they get by email. And it's perfectly understandable if you don't want to go forward with making a treasurer. I will continue to do it, okay, the best I can. But let me just give you a, for instance, just this morning, no, just today, I've got 2 NOIs and 2 RDA on my application statement. That is taking up a hell of a lot of time. And I want to get this, I want to stay on top of this and not let it cut you.
Yeah, right.
But I also would admit, the major things that we get in terms of treasurer's actions is we get the filing fees, which we have to keep up to date, and we get legal notices from the Gazette. And every once in a while, we buy other stuff like signs for the trail and stuff. And it's not that much work, it's just one more thing. I guess my recommendation is, if nobody wants to jump forward and take on a couple more hours of work every week, fine. But that's the situation as it is now.
I'll make a recommendation of my own. I'd be glad to do the treasurer's work. I'd like to give up if I do, I would give up the co-chair. But I would do the treasurer's work. And I could remain the co-chair until we have enough people here to repopulate the commission, losing
Yes.
a few.
Thank you. However, I really would think it's better to have a vice chair than a treasurer. I mean, I can do it if it becomes something I can't handle. I'll come back and say I quit, more or less. But I think having a vice chair is really important. Because I don't think it's a good idea to get into a meeting and Evan can't make it for some reason, then we have to go through, okay, who's going to run the meeting?
Mhm.
And if you both are, we don't have a quorum, so it's not a problem. Yeah, and that's all I would have on the treasurer and the treasurer. I did forward to you, it's not a big change except for the significant amount of cash we got in for the period and so on. And we'll pay that out as we get bills from veterans insurance.
I wouldn't mind. Doesn't sound like that much. But minutes. But I've done that on things. So I'd be happy to volunteer for treasurer if you.
Can we just hold off on it again?
Yeah.
A couple of meetings. If I get over my head, I'll call you.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Friday, Rob, for. Yeah. Keep us posted.
Oh, well.
Okay. All right. Kathy. Thank you. I should have front loaded this.
No.
The Trailblazers report.
Kathy Hall, 1600, and the Trailblazers. It's been a long, cold winter, as you all know. We've gotten out though for a number of hikes. We did Blaze, Nancy Livermore, got that finished. and pretty much redid the trail there. I'm waiting to hear about what's happening with bank stabilization, so I'll an update on that, George, if you have any information. We did, thank you very much, get our RDA approved for a new Broad Bridge and Bridge at Nancy Livermore, and Mark, Joy, and I will be working on getting a list of materials and a budget process. Start a build fairly soon. And let's see, did a fabulous hike up on Breakneck Brook, just a week or so after the blizzard. And it was really amazing. It was beautiful. So much moose sign up there. And we talked it over, and I think what we're going to recommend for Breakneck Brook, I don't know if all of you are familiar with that area, but where you come in, there's a perennial wet spot. And it's a major puddle. And rather than build a bog bridge because there's traffic through there that hooks up to a logging road, et cetera, we're thinking that what we might propose is to bring in some large flat rocks and just make a rock crossing across that. So when we come to that point, we'll be putting the RDA on there. That's kind of what we're thinking about in terms of making that trailhead accessible. And what else? This weekend, weather permitting and work people permitting, we're going to start installing some of the large signs that say no motorized vehicles and leash your pets and pick up that. So we're going to be starting to get some more signage out there. And I did write an email to Lambert Camp today because there are other signs where we're going to need significant help with post holding and installing poles. So we'll be working with the highway department to try to get those done to various locations. We have a new person on our committee, Tim Norton, and he owns a small backhoe, which is really kind of exciting because we talked about it. Again, this is going to have to go through the RDA process. We know we need to stabilize the banks in a couple of places in Clearwater where they've been severely eroded by equestrian traffic. And so we've talked about with Kestrel about what to do there. Their recommendation is to bring in gravel and then fill in with gravel. So should that happen, we actually have a way to get gravel from the parking area to the bank. So that's about it. Any questions about our crazy committee?
How is the new trail at Breakneck going?
You know, we have it flagged, and it's fairly easy to follow until we got to the stream, we crossed, we got about halfway up the hill, and then we couldn't find the blue flags anymore.
Yeah.
So we just took the path of least resistance. So there's more work to be done. There's also an area there where the trail is kind of between the wetlands and the boundary. It's a little, in my opinion, a little too close to the wetlands. You kind of want to move it up to the right a little bit, so that it's a little bit on higher ground, just to protect some areas where there's lots of gold and silver and lots of things. So it's a work in process. There's no signage there that even exists, and I don't think we want to advertise it until we really have our ducks in a row regarding access to it.
Yeah, I'm selfishly asking because I have to access the property behind it for work, so that trail is going to be a game changer.
It's fairly well marked now.
I think I came down it this fall. Yeah.
So, but it's such an exciting property. You know, we didn't.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I only had one taker on the site, and we were postal. You know, the snow was deep. Well, we got almost up all the way to the ridge, and some of those nice eastern views. It's just
nice.
So that's all I have to say. I just want to thank you all for your work. Really, really appreciate it. You did a great job.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
I'm going to head. So.
Yes.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay. And then I think we have the minutes from the last last meeting. Did you get my correction?
Mhm.
All three of them?
Yeah, yep.
I can't make a motion.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Make a motion
if they
to
were.
accept the minutes from February.
Yeah, yes.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, Rob?
Yeah.
Brett?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yeah.
Cool.
Passes 3.
Anything that can't wait until next meeting? Me. Okay. All right, then at 7:04, I'll make a motion to,
I'll second that.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And aye. Great.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.